7 miraculous divine lessons revealed for supernatural transformation and heavenly deliberation. In the quiet village of Maplewood, the sun dipped low, casting golden hues across humble homes, as the church bells rang out in a sonorous symphony, calling hearts to prayer. Lydia, a devoted mother, gathered her 3 children, Amelia, Jacob, and little Samuel, each evening around the family altar, igniting the flickering candles of faith. The air quivered with divine expectation as they sought the protection of Saint Michael, their patron saint, against the lurking shadows of this world. But darkness crept in when Samuel fell gravely ill. The doctor stood solemnly before Lydia, words heavy as lead. The boy's life was at stake. Hope, once a vibrant flame, flickered dangerously close to extinguishing. Like lightning, despair tore through her heart, yet amid the storm, a resolute glimmer of faith remained. With pleading hands clasped firmly, she turned to God, her cries echoing against the heavens, desperate for a miracle. Then, inspired by an unyielding spirit, Lydia rallied the villagers for an extraordinary prayer vigil at their cherished stone chapel. As twilight descended, lanterns flickered to life, illuminating eager yet anxious faces. The tiny church, a sacred sentinel in their community, stood ready. It awaited their collective whispers of devotion. They filled the pews, hands intertwined, hearts pounding with urgency, fervently beseeching Saint Michael for mercy. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As haunting prayers filled the air like incense, a palpable tension arose. Murmurs of doubt spread. Could faith truly rival the knowledge of medicine? As the candle flames danced, shadows lengthened, whispering of desperation and uncertainty. Just when Lydia feared for her son's life and for the faith of those around her, an unexplainable warmth enveloped the chapel. Gasps echoed, and hope blossomed anew within hearts once burdened by doubt. Miraculously, Samuel's health began to mend. Bright eyes emerged where once there was only languor. Whispers of revival swept through the congregation like wildfire. Faith sparked, igniting unshakable unity among them. Light started spilling through the stained glass, casting radiant patterns that painted divine promises across tear-stained cheeks. And then, just as joy began to settle in, a delicate script appeared at the altar. An ethereal message, like the swirls of angelic hands, revealed a deeper purpose. What was this tender gift from above? The villagers hushed in awe. The message seemed to tell them of lessons yet to learn, trials that remained essential for understanding faith's full depth. Lydia's heart raced, swirling questions awoke within her as the sacred ambiance thickened with meaning. What revelations awaited them? What secrets would the divine unfold to transform their lives forever? Gripped by this mystery, the community stood united in anticipation, ready to discover the truth that might forever alter their faith. The candles flickered softly, casting long shadows on the chapel walls as the villagers sat in hushed reverence, their eyes glued to the altar. Lydia approached the sacred message, heart racing, feeling an urgent pulse of divine energy in the air. Every soul in Maplewood seemed attuned to this moment, an awakening that transcended fear and doubt. As the sun set completely beyond the horizon, a wave of tranquility washed over the assembly. They could feel it, the tangible presence of the Holy Spirit wrapping around them like a warm embrace. Lydia's heart trembled as she touched the delicate script upon the altar, her fingers brushing the divine characters. The letters glimmered with a soft light that felt like hope itself. "Dear friends," Lydia spoke, her voice steady yet filled with emotion, "we stand here blessed, having witnessed a miracle. Samuel's recovery is only the beginning of our journey. These words before us hold keys to a transformation our hearts seek." A gentle murmur spread among the villagers, eyes glistening with unshed tears and gratefulness. Questions hung in the air, mingling with the scent of candle wax and blooming flowers from the chapel garden. "Let us read the message together," Lydia proposed, excitement flaring among the gathering. They leaned forward, breaths held, as she began to recite the words, each syllable heavy with promise. "Embrace for trials as sacred gifts. Let faith be your anchor and prayer your shield. In unity there is power, and in kindness there is strength." Each line resonated deeply, echoing not only in their ears, but in their very spirits. The weight of doubt slowly lifted as understanding dawned. Trials were indeed gifts, not punishments, and in each struggle lay seeds of grace waiting to sprout. Lydia continued, "In our unity, we are not a mere congregation. We are a body, a family in Christ, tasked with carrying the light to those in darkness." Amelia, sitting beside Jacob with little Samuel cradled safely in her arms, shifted her gaze, her eyes wide open with realization. "So, we are called to be more than just prayerful? We must become active in love." "Yes," Lydia affirmed, her voice rising with conviction. "We must not only pray, but also act. Our faith will not just be a shield, it will light the way for others. Imagine if we all spread this love." An electric current of agreement flowed through the crowd. The villagers began to voice their thoughts, a heartfelt symphony swirling in the sacred space. "I can help with the meals for the sick," called out Mrs. Thompson, her spirit ignited. "I could visit the lonely and share their burden," piped up young Jacob, his face glowing with determination. And so, as the night deepened, the chapel became a hub of ideas and expressions of love. The villagers began planning outreach, inspired and spurred by the miraculous healing of Samuel and the newfound understanding of faith. But then, just as they prepared to conclude their gathering, a sudden hush fell, enveloping them like a divine blanket. Lydia noticed a figure in white by the altar, an aura radiating peace. Her heart raced. Was this an angel sent by God? The whisper of anticipation fluttered through the congregation as they turned, drawn into a deeper mystery. What further revelation awaited them? What call to action would this vision bring? In that moment, as the ethereal figure approached, Lydia's breath caught in her throat, knowing they were on the brink of something momentous and life-altering. What message of transformation was poised to be shared next? The air thickened with an otherworldly anticipation, urging them to remain open and receptive. The figure took a step forward, a serene smile illuminating the soft features of her face. Her presence radiated warmth, and the flickering candlelight seemed to dance in harmony with her gentle grace. The villagers held their breaths, hearts beating as one in the hushed atmosphere. Lydia felt the pull of the divine. Who was this heavenly presence beckoning them further along their path? "I am here to share a message of divine importance," came the sweet voice, echoing softly throughout the chapel. Each word resonated deep within their spirits, filling them with indescribable peace. It was as if she was speaking not just to their ears, but to their very souls. "With each challenge you face," she continued, "you were not created for despair, but for destiny. Each one of you carries a light within, a light that has the power to ignite hope in the darkest hearts." Lydia's heart swelled at the words, realizing the truth in them. Joyful tears welled in her eyes. The villagers exchanged glances, understanding dawning upon them, a kindling of energy coursing through their veins. This was not just any message, it was a call to action, a reminder of the divine purpose embedded in their existence. "Do not shy away from your trials," the figure urged, her voice ringing like a bell through the stillness. "But embrace them. Like gold refined in fire, your struggles shall shape you into vessels of grace and strength, able to carry the burdens of others." More murmurs swept through the crowd, ripples of agreement growing stronger. They were beginning to comprehend the depth of the call placed upon their hearts. "I am here to share a message of divine importance," came the sweet voice, echoing softly throughout the chapel. Each word resonated deep within their spirits, filling them with indescribable peace. It was as if she was speaking not just to their ears, but to their very souls. "With each challenge you face," she continued, "you were not created for despair, but for destiny. Each one of you carries a light within, a light that has the power to ignite hope in the darkest hearts." Lydia's heart swelled at the words, realizing the truth in them. Joyful tears welled in her eyes. The villagers exchanged glances, understanding dawning upon them, a kindling of energy coursing through their veins. This was not just any message, it was a call to action, a reminder of the divine purpose embedded in their existence. "Do not shy away from your trials," the figure urged, her voice ringing like a bell through the stillness. "But embrace them. Like gold refined in fire, your struggles shall shape you into vessels of grace and strength, able to carry the burdens of others." More murmurs swept through the crowd, ripples of agreement growing stronger. They were beginning to comprehend the depth of the call placed upon their hearts. Together, they could cultivate a garden of kindness, seeded with love and fortified by shared burdens. Lydia dared to take a step closer, emboldened by the figure's presence. "What is the next step we are to take?" she asked, her voice trembling yet determined. A tranquil smile touched the angelic being's lips. "Cherish each other as family, for in your unity lies the very essence of divine manifestation. Bind together with faith and revel in each act of love as a sacred investment into your community's heart." Visions burst alive in Lydia's mind. A community coming together, sharing warmth and food, tending to the sick and rejoicing in the bonds formed amidst trials. Energy filled the gathering as people envisioned their roles, hearts expanding with possibilities. As the figure raised a hand and gestured to the congregation, an ethereal light flowed from her fingertips, washing over them like a gentle tide. "Let this light burn brightly in your actions. Go forth, carry your burdens and the burdens of others. In doing so, you shall witness the miraculous unfold." The air thickened with divine glory, wrapping around them like a thick wool blanket. Lydia could feel her heart pound in sync with the mounting excitement absorbing the gathering. They would no longer be just a village. They would be a movement of divine love spreading throughout Maplewood. Suddenly, the light swirled around the figure, coalescing as she began to fade. "Remember," the voice echoed, reverberating with strength. "Transformation begins within you all. Share the message, let it take root, and watch God's kingdom flourish." When the glowing figure vanished, the villagers stood in solemn silence. Hope flickered brighter in their hearts. They were ready. "What will we do now?" Jacob asked, his voice breaking the reverent stillness, eyes filled with eager anticipation. A sense of determined clarity filled Lydia. "We start tomorrow. We create a plan, a way to bring hope into our community as we were called to do." As they exchanged excited words, plans forming in the air like musical notes, the horizon seemed to shimmer with promise. What would their first steps be? Much awaited miracles and opportunities still lay ahead. The sun rose gently over Maplewood, casting a warm golden light that bathed the village in a serene glow. Lydia awoke with her heart still humming from the night before. She felt invigorated, as if each word spoken by the glowing figure had been etched onto her very being. Lydia stepped outside, savoring the crisp morning air. The village, still waking to the new day, seemed alive with possibilities. Eager faces began to emerge from their homes, their eyes sparkling with hope and vision. It was a new dawn, one that marked the beginning of a journey that would unite them all. Gathering at the village square, Lydia stood with Jacob, Sarah, and other villagers who had joined her in their newfound fervor.
A sense of expectation hung in the air, wrapping around them like an embrace. Lydia raised her voice, filled with joy. "Brothers and sisters, today is the day we begin to share our light." The others nodded, smiles breaking like sun rays across their faces. "What should we focus on first?" Sarah asked, her voice brimming with excitement. Lydia remembered the figure's words: unity, love, kindness. "Let's start with those who need our help the most. There are families in our village struggling. We can bring them meals and offer assistance," she suggested. A chorus of agreement resounded around her. Jacob jumped in. "And let's not forget the elderly. They often feel lonely. We can spend time with them, listen to their stories, and share our lives." "Wonderful," Lydia smiled, her heart swelling with gratefulness for the hearts that surrounded her. They began to divide tasks among themselves, forging plans of action with hope lighting fire in their eyes. As they moved about, gathering supplies, laughter erupted as someone shared a funny memory from childhood. It was a blessing. Their camaraderie was palpable, the kind that grew from shared purpose. Yet, amid the exultation and strategy, a subtle worry lingered in Lydia's heart. Would they truly be enough? Was their light bright enough to combat despair? That night, as they gathered around a flickering fire, their shared meals rich in love and laughter, Lydia took a moment of reflection. She turned to her friends. How can we ensure our light shines brightly in times of struggle? Jacob considered her question. Perhaps by remembering that we're never alone. When one of us falters, the others can lift them up, he replied softly. "You speak truth," Sarah added, her voice soft but firm. "When we face struggles, we should not bury them, but open our hearts and share them with one another." A wave of agreement flowed through the group. As they talked, something remarkable happened. The embers of their fire flickered, illuminating not only the circle of friends, but casting elongated shadows on the walls of doubt which had crept in. The warmth of the flames mirrored the warmth that began to swell in Lydia's heart. Wisdom was steeping deeper in her soul. A divine truth unfolded before her. Each struggle is simply a chance for us to reflect God's love, isn't it? With every shared story and dream, they learned that even in hardship, they would find strength, not in individual brilliance, but in the divine unity woven between them. Suddenly, a whisper flowed through the night, an unearthly echo that felt familiar yet profoundly mysterious. Lydia froze, a thrill of the sacred coursing through her veins. Was it the voice of the figure? She turned to her friends, a blend of hope and trepidation shining in her eyes. What if we are being called to something greater than we can imagine? What if there are lessons still to learn? The fire crackled in response, illuminating their faces with shadows and light.
What awaits us beyond these trials? They pondered together. Any uncertainties now dissolved, like the remnants of night against the approaching dawn. As sleep beckoned and the stars twinkled overhead, an undercurrent of anticipation ran through the air. They could feel divine whispers awaiting their embrace, urging them forward. What awaited them in the days ahead? Would they be transformed by the very trials they sought to overcome? Lydia felt her heart beat with possibility. Something miraculous was just beyond the horizon. As dawn broke once more over Maplewood, a thick blanket of quiet enveloped the village. The first light crept through the trees, casting gentle shadows, much like the stories that danced in the hearts of its residents. Lydia stirred awake, the echo of last night's sacred whispers still resonating in her spirit. She could feel a warmth growing within her, urging her to rise and seek the day ahead. Stepping outside, she inhaled deeply, sending a silent prayer of gratitude to the sky. The village felt different today, charged with a sacred energy. Each face she met was an embodiment of shared purpose, radiating hope as they recognized the responsibility to uplift one another. The energy wasn't simply a desire for kindness, but a divine calling pulsing through the air. Gathering in the square, Lydia felt an exhilarating mix of excitement and trepidation. She addressed her companions once more, her voice steady yet soft. "Friends, together, we are conduits of God's love. We walk not just towards helping others, but towards understanding Him more deeply ourselves." With careful consideration, they established their mission for the day. Each person picked their tasks with unabashed zeal. There were meals to prepare, stories to share, and laughter to dispense. They were both students and teachers in this sacred exchange. As they fanned out into the village, Lydia found herself with Jacob, heading towards the home of Mr. Thompson, the elderly man whose isolation echoed through his empty home. The path led them past a cluster of newly blooming flowers, their colors vibrant in the morning light. Lydia paused, captivated by their beauty. "These flowers, Jacob, they remind me that even in solitude, there can be growth and splendor," she mused. Jacob nodded, his brow furrowed in thought. And maybe that's the lesson for Mr. Thompson too. He needs to see that though his life feels barren, he is still capable of blooming through connection. The warm exchange of ideas set Lydia's heart ablaze. Arriving at Mr. Thompson's door, they knocked gently, and after a moment, it creaked open to reveal the elderly man's surprised face. "What do you want, children?" he asked, suspicion lacing his voice. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson," Lydia replied, her sincerity piercing through the apprehension. "We've come to visit you. We're here to share some stories and laughter. Would you let us in?" His features softened, and a frail smile broke free. They entered the modest home, which felt heavy with silence. Lydia quickly recognized the stillness, a silence that yearned to be filled with warmth. As they settled in with cups of tea, they encouraged Mr. Thompson to recount tales from his youth, stories that became bridges connecting hearts of differing generations. Time passed effortlessly. Laughter melded with stories, the distance between loneliness and companionship dissolving like mist in the sun. With each shared experience, Lydia felt the lessons of love and connection deepen within her. It dawned on her that this beauty arose not merely from their acts of kindness, but from offering the pure presence of their hearts. Later that afternoon, the group reconvened, bursting with tales of triumph and moments suffused with grace. Lydia shared her own experience. "Today, I realized, all it takes is a bit of vulnerability to invite God's love in. Our light grows brighter when we allow others to see our hearts." As the sun dipped low, painting the sky with hues of orange and lavender, a sudden hush fell over the group. They sensed that an invisible connection had been woven through their acts of love, each thread a lesson from the divine, each tale of connection a teaching. But as Lydia contemplated the culmination of their day, a curious thought pulled at her heart. Were their collective trials only a prelude? What could these experiences yield when woven together in faith? As determination filled the air, the fires of the heart stirred once more, urging them onward. What truths would emerge when they delved deeper into their communal courage? Each resolute spirit ignited an anticipation, for they sensed that they were on the brink of revealing something transformative. Lydia's heart raced. Was this only the beginning of their journey together? What profound revelations awaited them, longing to be unveiled? The following day dawned with a fresh glow, the sun's rays spilling warmly across Maplewood. Lydia rose with renewed fervor, the thoughts of yesterday swirling within her mind. In her spirit, an eagerness bubbled to embrace whatever the day would bring. She stepped outside, her heart open, anticipating new lessons to unfold. As she walked through the village square, she noticed a swirl of people gathering near the old oak tree. Curious, she joined the crowd. The whispers of anticipation danced in the air. In the center stood Pastor Elias, his presence commanding yet inviting. His eyes shone with a fervent spark. "Today," he began, "we will share not only our stories, but our visions." A hush flickered across the faces assembled, the excitement palpable. What did it mean to share visions? Would it be a recounting of dreams or a manifestation of hopes? Lydia felt her heart race, wondering if this moment would carve another path towards understanding. Pastor Elias continued, "Our dreams can reveal God's purpose for us, and today we will learn how to listen, to ourselves, to each other, and to Him." A hush flickered across the faces assembled, the excitement palpable. What did it mean to share visions? Would it be a recounting of dreams or a manifestation of hopes? Lydia felt her heart race, wondering if this moment would carve another path towards understanding. Pastor Elias continued, "Our dreams can reveal God's purpose for us, and today we will learn how to listen, to ourselves, to each other, and to Him."
As he spoke, Lydia felt the warmth of connections swell in the hearts of her friends. Each person was a thread in a grand tapestry woven together by divine intention. They were reminded that their shared journeys, while unique, converged towards a singular purpose: to uplift the community and bring forth love. With energy swirling, Pastor Elias encouraged each person to share a vision. At first, there were hesitant words, but one by one, voices rose. Julia spoke of a healing garden, a place for those weary in spirit to come and find peace. Mark envisioned a youth center, a cradle for future dreams. Lydia stood captivated, a tender feeling washing over her as she realized they were not just sharing ideas, they were glimpsing the divine heart within each other. "I want to dream of unity and compassion," Lydia declared when her turn arrived. "We have a chance to create a space where every voice is valued, a place where laughter and joy illuminate the darkest corners in our lives." Her voice trembled as she envisioned the faces of strangers finding their way home, built on kindness. An electric silence followed, then a harmonious agreement rippled through the group. They stood collective, hearts aligned in a symphony of purpose. What could come from their visions? What miracles could be birthed as they united their dreams? The afternoon found them bustling with excitement. Each person paired with others bearing similar aspirations, brainstorming how to turn their visions into well-trodden truths. Lydia felt a deep stirring within her as they planned, confident that God's hand was guiding their steps. Suddenly, an unexpected visitor broke the cozy gathering. Sister Miriam, a figure in the village known for her unshakable faith and gentle wisdom, strode toward them. Her presence alone seemed to calm the air. With a smile that reached her eyes, she joined their circle. Faith taps into the infinite. Each of your dreams is a seed of divine purpose. Rows of heads nodded, the energy shifting into something more profound. Lydia's heart soared. The belief that they were part of a greater design filled the space like perfume. How could they nurture these dreams? In the midst of their discussions, Sister Miriam raised a finger as if to emphasize a point.
Sometimes receiving God's blessings requires stepping into the mystery of faith, the willingness to act without knowing the outcome. And just then, a gust of wind swept through the gathering, rustling the leaves above. It felt like a whisper, as if the trees themselves echoed divine encouragement. Lydia shivered, sensing a promise wrapped in the uncertainty ahead. The day slipped away, and the thrill of their aspirations filled the evening air, every heart pumping with divine possibilities. Yet, a question hung in the twilight. What trials would come to test their resolve and faith?
Emboldened but wary, they stood at the precipice of transformation, knowing the path ahead might bring challenges, but also miraculous blessings. Would their combined faith ignite a change that transcended the ordinary? What if they could illuminate paths for others, shining bright in the embrace of God's endless love? With hearts opened wide, they took a collective breath, ready to step forward into the unknown, grasping the hands of their fellow believers. What revelations awaited them along this bold new venture? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over Maplewood, a sacred stillness enveloped the gathering. The excitement of the day lingered like the last notes of a beautiful hymn. Lydia felt the weight of what had been shared, each vision clear and bright in her mind. Yet deep down, the stirrings of uncertainty began to creep in. What would it take to bring these dreams to life? The air felt charged, almost alive with possibility, and yet, as night began to blanket the world, shadows of doubt began to slink through her mind. Was their faith strong enough? Could they truly impact their community, turning dreams into reality? Just then, Sister Miriam's gentle voice broke through her reverie. Remember, dear ones, each step of faith is a step toward the miraculous. Do not waver when clouds gather. Lydia looked around at the faces lit by the soft glow of lanterns they had brought along. Each face held the glow of hope, the anticipation of purpose, mixed with small hints of uncertainty. They were vulnerable but resolute. For every heart lifted in expectation, another weighed down by the heaviness of doubt existed. Together, they were like a beautiful tapestry, intricate yet fragile. Pastor Elias called them together once more. We have shared our visions, but now we must explore the truth of our purpose. Each vision comes at a cost. What are we willing to sacrifice in order to nurture what we hope to create? His words hung in the evening air, heavy as the ripe fruit waiting to be picked from the trees. Lydia felt a pang in her heart. Sacrifice. It was a word she had heard often, yet its importance had never felt so real. What was she willing to give? As if reading her thoughts, Sister Miriam leaned closer. Sacrifice is not always about loss. Sometimes it's about giving up comforts to embrace the divine purpose planted in your heart. What light might you let shine brighter by letting go of anchors that hold you back? In that moment, Lydia felt a flicker of clarity. Perhaps it was not just about her personal sacrifice, but about the collective effort of the group. How could they, as a community, shed the fear of the unknown and embrace faith in action? With a newfound determination, she stood up again. What if we hold each other accountable? Let's commit to prayer, to seeking God's guidance in each moment, to act courageously as we chase these visions. Her voice rang out, vibrant with conviction. A chorus of agreement rippled through the circle, hearts echoing her enthusiasm. Ideas began to flow like a river, rich and nourishing. They spoke of weekly prayer meetings, partnering with local organizations, and stepping into the lives of those in need. Lydia could feel the heat of the moment surge through her. But just as excitement swelled, a heavy silence fell. From the shadows, a familiar face stepped forward. It was old Mr. Thompson, a figure often found sitting alone on his porch. As the crowd parted for him, Lydia could sense the weight of the unseen struggle that he carried. "Dear friends," he started slowly, his voice quaking yet steady,
I fear for your visions. Are you prepared for what may come? The enemy doesn't rest as you dream." His words struck like thunder, waking minds to the reality that dreams are often met in hardship. Sister Miriam nodded, her resolve unshaken. Indeed, spiritual growth often comes through trials. The road may twist and turn, but remember, each fork offers a choice. Lean into faith, and God will illuminate your path. It was true. The journey ahead would be filled with obstacles, doubts, and perhaps even moments that could shake their resolve. They had each shared visions rooted in the divine, but how would they respond in times of uncertainty? As if answering the unspoken question, a soft breeze stirred the leaves overhead once more, and the stars began to twinkle above, each one a reminder of heavenly promises. Lydia took a deep breath, inhaling hope. Were they ready to embrace every trial, allowing it to transform them for the greater good? The group fell into a contemplative silence, each one reflecting on the question that lingered. Would their newfound faith withstand the winds of transformation? With hearts wide open and eyes lifted, they were poised on the edge of what was to come, a leap of faith into the depths of the unknown. What would be waiting for them on the other side of their willingness to act? What miracles awaited their embrace? And as they ventured back into the twilight, the promise of a new day ahead loomed like a steadfast beacon. What divine lessons were yet to unfold in the journey toward manifestation? As the stars brightened against the deepening blue of night, Lydia felt a ripple of energy course through the group. There was an awakening, a realization that they were standing on the brink of something truly significant. She glanced at her companions, their eyes wide with a mix of hope and anxiety. This transformative journey required them to walk not just in faith, but in unity. Sister Miriam broke the contemplative silence with a gentle but steady voice. Let us remember, dear friends, that community is our strength. When one of us feels weary, another will lift them up. We will face trials, yes, but together we will craft a tapestry of hope that even the fiercest storms cannot unravel. Mr.
Thompson, still lingering near the edge of their circle, nodded in solemn agreement. The enemy seeks to sow fear, but where there is faith, fear cannot thrive. Let your hearts be emboldened. Seek not just comfort for yourselves, but a purpose that calls you to action. A warmth spread through Lydia's chest, igniting her spirit. It was true. Each voice carried sacred weight, and together their dreams intertwined like vines climbing toward the heavens. Let's take a moment, Elias interjected softly, to share what we believe the next step looks like. What small actions can we take to bring our dreams to life? The group released a collective breath as they prepared to engage in the conversation anew. Lydia felt the pull to speak her heart, but instead she listened as others stepped forward. Olivia, a quiet but passionate member of the group, leaned in. What if we host a community meal? Just to gather people, one table at a time, so they can see the love we wish to spread. A chorus of amens and "that's a great idea" filled the air, weaving a fabric of excitement and affirmation. Or a clothing drive for those in need, another voice suggested. We can gather gently used items that can bring warmth to those who may have none. As practical and heartwarming suggestions flowed, Lydia felt her spirit lift. Ideas sparkled like the stars above. They envisioned murals to beautify their neighborhood, outreach programs for the elderly, and Saturday gatherings for families to connect. Just as hope surged with every new thought shared, an unexpected chill swept through. Another figure emerged from the shadows, Timothy, a young man often seen as troubled but full of potential. He looked weary, but there was a fire blazing in his eyes. "Forgive me," he began, his voice shaky, "but what if no one comes? What if the community doesn't see what we're trying to do? I don't want to fail." At those words, the group fell silent, a heavy sadness filling the space. Lydia's heart ached for him. She knew the fear of failure all too well.
Yet Sister Miriam stepped forward, placing a comforting hand on Timothy's shoulder. "Dear child, think of the flowers that bloom through cracks in the concrete. Nature does not fret over the ground she rises from, she simply grows. We too must trust that our efforts, no matter how small, are seeds planted in fertile soil." Timothy's eyes grew bright, and Lydia felt the weight of fear begin to shift. Somewhere deep within her, a quiet flame ignited, answering back, "What if it's not about the numbers? What if it's about loving those we reach?" Encouraged, a powerful resolve began to swell within them all. They murmured affirmations, shaping a new vision, not for success, but for service. "Together we will pray, and in that prayer, our actions will find meaning," Elias declared, eyes shining with the promise of their intent. Hold on to hope, friends. God is not blind to your efforts.
When you stand for love, you stand under God's mighty wings. As they closed their eyes, a hush fell. Each heart resonated in unison, like a symphony dedicated to their shared purpose. But just as the air grew thick with divine presence, a loud clap of thunder echoed in the distance, shaking the moment. The sky darkened ominously, casting a shadow over their newfound commitment. Lydia's heart raced, and she pondered what this might mean. What spiritual warfare lay ahead? The group opened their eyes, and the flicker of courage shone through the worry. As they exchanged determined glances, Lydia couldn't help but wonder, were they ready to stand firm against whatever storms would come? What lessons awaited them on the other side of this leap of faith into the night? The journey had just begun, and with it, an uncertain but thrilling destiny awaited. Would they embrace every challenge, every divine lesson, and rise to become the light they yearned to be? The thunder rumbled again, this time louder, vibrating through the ground beneath their feet. The group stood rooted, a blend of anticipation and dread swirling in the air. Lydia clenched her hands, grounding herself in faith, seeking clarity amidst the chaos. "God has a way of speaking through the storm," Sister Miriam said softly, her voice a gentle reminder. "This is not the end, it is a call to deeper trust." Suddenly, the clouds parted for a moment, revealing a shimmering light, a hand reaching down from the heavens, beckoning them to notice. It was a surreal sight, but within its glow, Lydia felt a keen sense of peace wash over her. This was a divine invitation, one that urged them to press forward, regardless of the distractions or fears that lay in wait. "We must remember," Elias spoke, gathering their attention once more. "Faith doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for persistence. We might not see the full plan, but we can step boldly into the unknown, trusting that God walks with us." Timothy, visibly shaken but resolute, took a deep breath. "I want to be part of this," he said, his voice gaining strength. "I want to help. Let's show our community they're not alone. Let's prove that love can conquer fear." With renewed purpose, the group leaned into the challenge, sharing their ideas for ways to spread their faith into the world around them. They brainstormed not just meals and donations, but discipleship programs to teach others about hope and compassion, the very essence of their mission. "Imagine if we could mentor students who feel lost," Olivia added, her eyes lighting up. "We could be their support, guiding them to see their potential." Another group chimed in, suggesting workshops on resilience and mental health. Each contribution fired sparks of enthusiasm, turning their fears into fervor. Amidst the rising excitement, however, Lydia felt a subtle unease in her heart. What if we face more than we expect? What if the storms grow stronger? She hesitated, looking down. Even small efforts can feel overwhelming. Sister Miriam stepped closer, an understanding glint in her eye. "Remember, dear hearts, light shines brightest in darkness.
Our greatest lessons often come when we least expect them. Each challenge, every drop of rain, can be a stepping stone to something greater. That reflection lingered in the air like a sweet fragrance, infusing the room with hope. They clasped hands, creating a circle of trust, a united front against the whispers of doubt. Lydia closed her eyes, focusing on the warmth of each hand. They stood at the edge of a divine journey. Suddenly, a bright flash illuminated the sky, followed by an echoing clap of thunder. Lydia gasped, and a thought struck her like lightning. What revelation was hidden in this storm? As she opened her eyes, the rain began to fall gently, each droplet a reminder that growth often requires a bit of turmoil. The group looked up together, eyes wide with awe. Nature was awakening, signaling that they too were part of a much larger narrative. "Let's hold tight to our mission," Mr. Thompson urged, voice filled with fervor. "Let us sow seeds of faith. Wherever it leads us, we'll follow." They set their intentions high, becoming vessels for hope, ready to rise for their community, even amid stormy skies. As they dispersed from the circle, the air became thick with expectation. What would their first acts of love look like? Would the community open its arms wide, welcoming their initiatives with grace? Lydia glanced back at the horizon, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. Little did they know, challenges danced ahead like shadows in the night, each one carrying a lesson, a miracle waiting to unfold. The journey ahead promised transformations of heart and soul, beckoning them to embrace every divine messiness life might throw their way. What awaited them was still wrapped in divine mystery, and the greatest lessons lay hidden in the storm's embrace. Would they emerge as conquerors, ready to unveil the miracles waiting beyond the clouds? As the first rays of dawn broke over Maplewood, a renewed sense of purpose washed over Lydia and the villagers. The aftermath of the storm had awakened them, not just physically, but spiritually. Each droplet of rain had served as a reminder of the life-giving grace that would sustain their efforts. Today was not just another day, it was the day they would act on their collective dreams. The village square came alive with energy as the group gathered once more, hearts beating in synchrony, each pulse echoing hope. Lydia stood among them, sensing the warmth of their resolve, yet aware that trials still lay ahead. "Friends," she called, her voice ringing clear, "we are here not merely to plan, but to live our faith. Let us roll up our sleeves and step out into the world as beacons of light. Whatever the challenges, we will face them together." The villagers nodded, spirits high. They knew that trials awaited them, but Lydia's unwavering faith ignited a spark within each heart. They were ready to transform their visions into reality, to walk hand in hand into the unknown. With a bustling energy, the group split into teams to tackle various tasks. Lydia paired with Jacob and Sarah, excited to deliver meals to those in need. As they moved through the village, every interaction felt charged with purpose. Everyone's smiles communicated gratitude, igniting a fuel within them that spread like fire. As they arrived at the home of the Rodriguez family, they found Maria, a widow who had been struggling to provide for her two little ones. Lydia knocked gently, and Maria opened the door, surprise blossoming on her face. "What is this?" she exclaimed, her eyes widening at the sight of the lovingly prepared dishes. "Just a small act of love. We're here to help," Lydia replied, her heart swelling. Tears glistened in Maria's eyes as she accepted their offerings. In that moment, Lydia felt something shift within her. Each meal delivered was more than food. It was a lifeline woven by a community unified in love. With every small act, they were declaring that hope existed, even amid hardship. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the village, Sister Miriam led a group of youths in the park for an afternoon of mentorship. They shared stories, laughter ringing through the trees, planting the seeds of faith in young, eager hearts. Timothy was there, leading a small discussion on courage and dreaming big. As evening descended, the villagers gathered once again at the chapel. They were tired, but their spirits were lifted as they recounted the day's experiences. With each shared story, the room swelled with gratitude, and the power of their unity deepened. Sister Miriam stood up, her eyes twinkling. Remember, dear ones, when we embrace our roles, miracles begin to flourish. Do not underestimate the ripples of love you've created today. Each one of us is called to be a catalyst for change. Lydia felt the presence of the divine as they prayed together, each heart intertwined with purpose. It became clear to her, transformation wasn't just about their actions, it was the alignment of their hearts with God's will. They were being crafted into vessels of His love, ready to shine brightly in every dark corner. With every victory won and every challenge encountered, the villagers became a family, a tapestry woven together in faith, love, and mutual understanding. Together, they decided to hold a communal feast to celebrate their journey, inviting everyone in Maplewood, ensuring that no one felt alone. Days turned into weeks, and the village flourished as love spilled into every interaction. Their visions bloomed, and as the vibrant colors of community life expanded, so did Lydia's resolve. And then came the undeniable test. A fierce storm rolled in unexpectedly one evening.
Lydia and her friends gathered at the chapel, their sanctuary, seeking comfort amid the turbulent winds. But this time, they were not gripped by fear or doubt. Sister Miriam's voice cut through the howling storm. Let this be our moment of strength. We are warriors of light. We won't bow down to fear, but rise up in faith. As thunder rumbled, they held hands, a united front against the tempest. With each prayer uttered, the winds seemed to soften, reflecting the strength found in their collective faith. When the storm finally passed, the village stood intact. Together, they had weathered the challenge, proving their strength through divine unity. That night, the skies cleared, revealing a breathtaking array of stars, scattering their light across the village, all testaments of hope and the journey toward transformation. In that brilliant display, Lydia realized what the divine lessons had meant all along. It was about family, community, and understanding that both trials and triumphs were sacred gifts. Each experience was an invitation to love deeper, believe stronger, and embrace every lesson with gratitude. As they looked upon the shining heavens, Lydia took a deep breath, filled with contentment. They were more than just a village. They were a movement of divine love, empowering transformations that touched every heart across Maplewood. With renewed spirits, they went forth, knowing they had become a beacon of light, a force of love creating ripples of grace. As Lydia beamed at her friends, she felt the presence of God guiding their intertwined paths. They were ready to face all that lay ahead, for they had been transformed by faith, fortified by love, and destined for greatness together. Now is the moment to embrace this spirit of faith. If you believe in the power of unity in God's love, you need to subscribe immediately to our channel for more heartwarming testimonies and divine stories that inspire. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread these glimmers of hope. Comment your thoughts about this beautiful ending and share your own faith stories with us. And don't wait even one more second. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to hear this manifestation. Remember, true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our journey together. Join us and let's shine brightly for the world to see.